Today on Forbes, a growing side hustle for American college grads, fixing AI's wrong answers. In his day job, Scott O'Neill's most recent struggle was fighting a late January cold snap in Covington, Louisiana, about 40 miles north of New Orleans. A plumbing sales associate, he said the phone hadn't stopped ringing since temperatures dropped to single digits. He told Forbes, quote, "It's been super busy. Freeze, broken pipes." But by night, O'Neill faces a different set of challenges, training advanced AI models. He spends several hours a week rating the answers that bots like ChatGPT turn out, working as a contractor for Scale, the $14 billion AI data company. The tasks vary. Sometimes he'll evaluate an AI response so it's factual and well-written, and quote, doesn't sound robotic. Or he'll be given two responses and choose the better one. If they're both bad, he'll rewrite it altogether. O'Neill, who has a degree in web development, will typically make anywhere from $300 to $1,000 a week for his work, depending on how many hours he puts in. O'Neill is one of hundreds of thousands of click workers on Outlier, a platform owned by Scale, where freelancers complete paid tasks to train generative AI models for Scale's corporate customers, which include Google, Meta, and OpenAI. He's also part of the fastest-growing segment of contributors on Outlier over the last year, workers in the United States, Scale told Forbes. Scale debuted Outlier in 2023, a year after OpenAI's release of ChatGPT touched off a global AI frenzy. When an AI model like Google's Gemini or Meta's Llama spits out an answer to a prompt, a diplomatic email to your boss, the solution to a multi-step physics problem, or code for a to-do list app, those answers aren't just the product of machine learning. Behind the scenes, legions of human workers have labored untold hours to, quote, fine-tune those models, rating responses, weeding out inappropriate material like violence or sexual abuse, and translating texts from different dialects. But as artificial intelligence becomes ever more capable of mimicking human reasoning, it's increasingly requiring more highly skilled humans, often with specific areas of expertise, to hone its models. That includes MFAs writing short stories so a model can learn from new prose, and PhDs making sure an AI applies mathematical theorems correctly, or writing code at the production level of a Facebook engineer. To complete these tasks, Scale has increasingly leaned on highly educated contributors. The company told Forbes that 87% of Outlier's click workers have a college diploma. Of those, 48% have a bachelor's degree, 27% have a master's degree, and 12% have a PhD. As its need for domain experts has grown, so has Scale's focus on the US as a premier hub for its click workers, instead of outsourcing work overseas. The company exclusively provided Forbes with a geographical snapshot of the Outlier program as it has grown in the US. Contributors are spread across 9,340 separate towns across the country, with Houston, Chicago, LA, New York City, and Atlanta being some of the most popular big cities. Smaller cities where contributors reside include Rexburg, Idaho, and Lake Mary, Florida. 19% of contractors reside in rural areas. Scale's pitch to Outlier contractors is that it's the next iteration of gig working, with the independence of driving Ubers or making deliveries for Postmates, but from the comfort of your home. In fact, Uber itself last year announced its own data labeling platform for contractors, called Scaled Solutions. Outlier is one of the core pillars of Scale's business. The company, which is privately held and currently valued at $14 billion, said in September it hit $1 billion in annualized revenue, but doesn't break out Outlier's contribution. But with growth has come criticism. Over the last few months, Scale has faced at least 3 lawsuits from Outlier contractors, alleging poor working conditions like a lack of mental health support and wage theft, a common accusation levied against tech companies that use contract workers. For full coverage, check out Richard Nieva's piece on forbes.com. This is Kieran Meadows from Forbes. Thanks for tuning in.